60% off. I simply have to have this, and definitely this.
What if I told you that this little piece of plastic could be either your greatest financial ally or your worst nightmare? Just ask Susan. For millions of Americans, credit cards aren't just convenient payment tools. They're ticking financial time bombs. And no one knew this better than Liam. Stick around until the end because I'm going to teach you how to use your credit card, when to pay it, how it really works. I will reveal the debt elimination system that works even for the most hopeless cases. But first, you need to see how bad it really got.
$27,432? How is this even possible?
Welcome to Walk to Money, Walking to Success. But before we get too deep into Liam and Susan's financial nightmare, let me ask you, do you know your current credit card debt? The average American household carries over $8,000 in credit card debt, with interest rates averaging 22.8%. That's like voluntarily setting your money on fire every single month. Liam had always been careful with money. He tracked expenses, saved regularly, and only used credit cards strategically for rewards and building credit history. But unbeknownst to him, Susan had a completely different relationship with this piece of plastic.
Liam doesn't need to know about all of these. What's the harm in a little retail therapy?
6 months of missed payments, balance transfers, cash advances with 29% interest. Susan, our credit score just dropped 150 points.
I was going to tell you, I just took out that new card to pay off the old one. The representative said it was a smart financial move.
Susan had fallen into the deadliest credit trap of all, using new debt to pay off old debt, creating a vicious cycle that financial experts call the debt spiral. According to the Federal Reserve, 46% of American adults couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing. Susan and Liam were now among them, despite their comfortable income.
We're sorry, your credit card has been declined.
Let me try another one.
We're sorry, your credit card has been declined.
Maybe this one?
We're sorry.
The reality was setting in. Their financial reputation, their credit score, was in shambles. Lenders saw them as high-risk borrowers. And that's when Liam realized they needed to have a serious conversation.
Susan, we need to talk about our financial future. Susan, I love you, but our financial situation has become critical.
I didn't think it would get this bad. The stores make it sound so easy. No payments for 12 months. 0 interest for 24 months. I just lost track.
Susan had fallen victim to what behavioral economists call present bias, the tendency to choose immediate rewards over long-term benefits. A study from MIT found that credit cards actually stimulate the brain's reward system similar to addictive substances.
I know you didn't mean harm, but we need to understand what credit cards really are. A credit card isn't free money. It's a loan with extremely high interest that compounds daily. When we only pay the minimum, we're basically signing up to pay for that sweater for the next 7 years at triple the price.
Triple?
Yes, that $50 shirt becomes approximately $150 when you factor in 22% interest over time. And that's why our debt ballooned so quickly.
And what's this late fee? I thought I had until the end of the month.
That's another misconception. The statement date and the payment due date are completely different things.
This was Susan's first revelation. Like 65% of cardholders, she didn't understand the difference between the statement closing date and the payment due date, a misunderstanding that cost them hundreds in late fees alone.
I feel terrible. I've ruined our financial future. We'll never recover from this.
That's not true. We can fix this together. It won't be easy, but I have a plan.
Liam knew that with the right strategy, they could escape the credit card trap. After all, Americans collectively paid off over $83 billion in credit card debt during the pandemic, proving that change is possible with the right approach.
I want to learn. I want to fix this. Where do we start?
First, we need total transparency. Let's gather all our credit card statements.
Even the department store ones?
Especially those. They often have the highest interest rates.
Step 1 in credit card recovery is facing the full truth. Studies show that 31% of cardholders don't know all their interest rates, and 43% don't know all their fees.
Now we list everything: balance, interest rate, minimum payment, and due date for each card.
That's more than we make in a year.
Which is exactly why we need a systematic approach. We'll use the debt avalanche method. We pay minimums on everything, but put every extra dollar toward the highest interest card first. Once that's paid off, we roll that payment to the next highest, creating momentum.
The debt avalanche method saves more money than the popular snowball method, potentially thousands in interest over time. But Liam knew they needed more than just a repayment strategy.
Next, we remove temptation. We'll keep one emergency card, but it stays frozen in an ice block in the freezer.
But what about groceries and gas?
That's where this comes in. A zero-based budget where every dollar has a job. We'll use cash envelopes for variable expenses like groceries and entertainment.
Research from the Journal of Consumer Research shows people spend 12 to 18% less when using cash instead of credit. This simple switch would accelerate their debt payoff significantly. The journey wasn't easy. They cut subscriptions, sold unused items, and both took on side gigs. Susan started a weekend dog walking service, while Liam drove for a rideshare company on evenings.
I've set alerts for every payment due date 5 days in advance. No more late fees.
And I've automated minimum payments on everything, so even if we forget, we're covered.
6 months into their journey, something remarkable happened.
Liam, look. Our score went up 85 points already.
Fast forward 1 year. Through discipline and teamwork, Liam and Susan had paid off $28,000 of their debt, more than half of their original balance.
I never thought we could make such progress. And I haven't used a credit card impulsively in 372 days.
The best part isn't just the debt reduction, it's that we understand how credit really works now. Remember how confused you were about statement dates and payment dates? Now you're the one reminding me.
The cutoff date covers a 30-day period. That is, let's suppose my credit card's cutoff date is the 3rd of each month. In this case, for the month of May, it would start on May 4th and have a cutoff date of June 3rd. In June, it would start on June 4th, and my cutoff date would be July 3rd, and so on. When should I pay for what I spent during this 30-day period? This is where the payment deadline comes in, which is the maximum day we have to make said payment, thus generating no interest. Each credit card has different payment deadlines. For example, let's suppose my credit card gives me 20 days to make the payment, and my cutoff date is the 3rd of each month. So, if I bought something between May 4th and June 3rd, my maximum payment deadline is June 23rd. Unlike if I bought it on June 6th, it would no longer fall within this period, but rather into the following month's deadline.
Susan had mastered the technical aspects of credit cards that confuse 70% of Americans. But more importantly, she'd undergone a psychological transformation.
That would have been a $200 impulse purchase on credit, which means it's actually $300 with interest. Not worth it.
Studies show that mental reframing, seeing purchases in terms of their true cost, including interest, reduces impulse spending by up to 43%.
Let's review our credit score progress.
It's amazing how much our on-time payment history has helped. And our credit utilization is below 30% for the first time.
That's right. The two biggest factors affecting our score: payment history at 35% and credit utilization at 30%.
They had mastered the 5 factors that determine credit scores: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix.
You know what's ironic? Now that we understand credit cards, we actually benefit from using them responsibly.
Exactly. We get 2% cash back on everything. Never pay interest because we pay in full, and our credit score keeps climbing, which saved us thousands on our mortgage refinance.
The transformation was complete. Credit cards were no longer their masters. They had become tools in Susan and Liam's financial arsenal.
Would you like to see the dessert menu?
Yes, please. And we'll be using this card for the rewards points, but it's already budgeted for.
2 years after their financial awakening, Liam and Susan were debt-free and thriving.
Remember when we couldn't even book a vacation because all our cards were maxed out?
And now we paid for this entire trip with credit card rewards points, without paying a cent of interest.
Their journey taught them 7 critical credit card lessons that every cardholder needs to know. 1. Always pay your balance in full each month to avoid interest. 2. Know your statement date, due date, and grace period. 3. Never use more than 30% of your available credit limit. 4. Set up automatic payments to avoid late fees. 5. Choose cards with rewards that match your spending habits. 6. Check your credit report regularly for errors. 7. Remember that your credit score affects everything from mortgage rates to insurance premiums.
I don't understand how you two turned everything around so fast.
It wasn't fast. It was consistent effort, and understanding that credit cards aren't evil, but they're not free money either.
They're financial tools that amplify your habits, good or bad.
Today, Liam and Susan have an excellent credit score, 3 strategically chosen credit cards they pay in full each month, and 0 debt except their mortgage, which they're on track to pay off early.
Thank you for teaching me, Liam. Our financial freedom has given us so much more than money. It's given us peace of mind and options for our future.
The freedom from financial stress allowed them to focus on experiences rather than possessions. They traveled more, worked less, and built memories instead of debt. Your credit card story doesn't have to be a horror story. Like Liam and Susan, you can transform your relationship with credit from toxic to tremendous. Remember, credit cards don't create debt. Decisions do. Make better ones starting today. See you in the next financial adventure on Walk to Money. Thanks for walking with us today. Subscribe to Walk to Money and never miss a step toward your financial freedom.